What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Today I have the Holosun 507K V2 X2, for us to take a look at. We're going to look at the features. We're going to talk about the testing that I've done over the past few months, the pros, the cons, what I think of it overall. And of course, I will roll in some range footage for you boys and girls. Now, Holosun for the past few years, if you don't know, have been making some really good pistol and rifle red dots without having to spend $1 million on a red dot. I believe this is my fourth red dot from Holosun, with the fifth one on the way. So as far as the disclosure, yes, I do work in the firearms industry, and I am friends with a few people who work at Holosun. Neither one of those things will affect this review in any way, shape, or form, and I will just try to be as objective as possible. Just so you know, I did purchase this red dot with the money I make from the YouTube advertising, so thank you guys very much for watching. And I will put some affiliate links down in the video description if you're looking to pick one up. Hopefully I can find you a good deal. Now, the 507 is one of Holosun's smaller footprint red dots. It's kind of made for the micro compact type pistols. It has the same footprint as the Shield RMSC, which is kind of the standard for these smaller red dots. One of the features I like the most is the side load battery compartment. You do not need to take the dot off of the slide to replace the battery, and they have to go back and reconfirm your zero. It's just a compartment on the side, which is fantastic. It takes a 1632 battery and it gets 50,000 hours of battery life, which is solid, especially for one of these small micro red dot pistols. That's like 5,000 years or something like that. I don't know. Math is very difficult. Another thing that helps prolong the life of the battery is their shake awake technology, or whatever Holosun calls it. In about 10 minutes of no movement, the dot turns off. And the second it senses any movement, and I mean any movement, this was very hard to capture, the second it senses movement, it turns right back on. Also on this side of the red dot, you have your windage adjustment, and then on top is your elevation. It is a tactile click, so you can definitely feel it, and each click is 1 MOA adjustment. As far as the glass, it is pretty clear. I don't see any distortion in the corners at all, very little. Not much of a tint to it at all. Usually when you get that higher battery life, you have to get a very strong tint on the glass, and I don't really see that with this particular red dot. As far as the reticle inside there, it is available in red or green, so if your eyes prefer one or the other, you can get it in both. Now, the cool thing about it is there is a 2 MOA dot in the middle with a 32 MOA circle around the dot. But if you don't like that setup, you can switch the reticle by just holding the down arrow on the other side here for a few seconds. So you can either have it the 2 MOA circle with the 32 MOA circle around it, or you can have just the 2 MOA dot, or you can have just the 32 MOA circle. Now, I personally prefer the 2 MOA dot just because it is a smaller window, and the dot with the circle is just a lot for my eyes, but you can set it up however you want. Before we get into the controls that are on the other side of the optic, let me quickly thank the sponsor of today's video, and that is USCCA. USCCA offers self-defense education, self-defense training, and self-defense insurance. If you are looking at pistols and optics like that, I'm going to assume it's for home defense, self-defense, concealed carry, that type of stuff. If that's the case, I recommend you click the link down in the video description, type in your email address, and see if USCCA is right for you. All right, moving on to the controls. You have an up and a down arrow, which is great. You don't have to deal with one button like other optics. Makes it much easier to control. If the optic is off, you can press either button to turn the optic back on. If you hold both buttons at the same time for a few seconds, it will turn the optic off. There is a total of 12 brightness settings, with 2 of them, the 2 lowest ones, being night vision compatible. If you hold the up arrow for 3 seconds, it's going to activate lockout mode, where neither button will work, so you won't be able to accidentally press the button to change your brightness settings. I've never had that happen accidentally, so I don't mess with lockout mode, but it is in there if you want it. To turn lockout mode off, you just hold the plus arrow for 3 seconds, and that turns it off. The sleep timer that I told you about, you can also adjust that. You have to hold the up arrow for 10 seconds, and then you can either change it from 10 minutes, 1 hour, 12 hours, or completely disable the sleep timer. Again, with the shake awake technology, I just leave it at 10 minutes because it's so sensitive. I've never had a problem with it. Water break again. Now, as far as the testing that I have done on this red dot, I've had it on my P365 for roughly 4 months. And the cool thing is I've been doing a lot of reviews geared towards my P365, like this awesome grip from Icarus Precision. And that has allowed me to put more rounds through this pistol with the optic attached than most reviews. Even with the crazy price of ammo, I was still able to put a few hundred rounds through this pistol with the Holosun attached to it. And as far as drills, I did the normal stuff that I always do. I did a lot of drawing from the holster, from concealment, a lot of one reload ones, drawing, shoot one, reload, shoot another, transitioning from different targets. I did some, I always do a lot of shooting out of breath. Well, I'll run, I'll do burpees or fake burpees as my buddies call them because I don't jump when I do the burpees. I'll do some burpees, I'll get myself out of breath and then still try to get accurate shots on target. And plate racks and all the normal stuff that you would want to be able to do with a red dot that's made for concealed carry. And based off all of that, these are my pros. Normally, I narrow it down to 3, but I couldn't quite narrow it down to 3 on this one. So I love the battery life. 50,000 hours is great. Side load battery compartment is great. You don't have to take the dot off to change the battery. The separate up and down buttons on the other side is great. I hate having that one button like the Loophole and some of the Sig Romeo Zero. That one button is kind of a pain. The aluminum housing and the actual glass lens seems a lot more durable, and I'm definitely more comfortable using this for concealed carry. I love the shake awake technology to help the battery life last longer. Goes to sleep, senses motion, turns back on. And the last thing I'm going to say is it's surprisingly easy to find the dot. Even with the smaller optic and a little bit smaller window, it's just very, very easy to find that dot. I don't know, maybe it's just me and the way I present, but I had no problems finding that dot from the first time I put that on here. It was very, very easy. As far as cons, I don't know if I have a con. I always hate to say nothing. I don't like the 2 MOA, I don't like the 32 MOA circle around the 2 MOA dot. Not really a con. You can push a button, make it go away. It's nice that it's in there so you can customize the reticle however you want. It's not made in America, we'll throw that out there. Holosun's one of the reasons they are so affordable is they are made offshore. But to get a optic this quality made in the United States, it's probably going to be 3 times the price. Anyway, overall, I think this is one of, if not the best, micro red dots for the micro compact type pistols. The RMR, the Trijicon RMR CC, I'm sure is a very, very good optic. Don't have a lot of experience with it, to be honest. The only problem with that optic, besides it's significantly more expensive, the footprint is different, it's bigger, so it's not going to fit on here. And to be honest, I've had some problems with Trigicon's customer service lately. So that's why, one of the reasons I went with the Holosun. So overall, I'm going to say again, I think this is good to go for concealed carry use. It is on my concealed carry gun. It will stay on my concealed carry gun as long as it doesn't let me down, which I definitely don't expect it to. Before you go, let me remind you of a few things. One, there's some affiliate links down in the video description if you want to pick one up. Hopefully, one, I can find one in stock for you, and 2, find you one at a fair price. 2, I need to thank my Patreon supporters because they are just amazing, really help keep this channel going. I'm sure you guys can hear my phone dinging in the background. I also want to thank the companies who support me with affiliate links. Like I mentioned earlier, USCCA is one of those companies. Last but not least, I want to thank you guys for watching because it is greatly, greatly appreciated. If you think I deserve it, please smash the like button, as they say. Drop a comment. And again, if you think I deserve it, please consider subscribing to the channel and enabling the bell notifications. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time. Peace!